Hello there guys, and welcome to another one of my real life range tests. And as you probably could already tell, today we are going to dissect the brand new, theoretically, Dacia Spring. And this is going to be a very interesting real life range test because this is a very interesting car. It is mainly supposed to be used around town, and if you look at its specs you will understand why. The top speed of the car is 125 kilometers an hour, so nobody really expects you to use this on the highway, and I wouldn't even recommend it anyway because it's not that confidence inspiring. So today we are going to test it, but we're only going to do that around town and on a series of B roads because I am just not brave enough to take this car on the highway. So before we begin, let's take a closer look at the car. This is it. You probably heard a lot about it. The car has been around for quite some time now, and this year it got a new brand identity along with the entire Dacia lineup. What does that mean? Well, it means it has a slightly different grille up front. You'll notice that there's no more chrome anywhere because car manufacturers seemingly have declared war on this material, and we have a new design over here for the front grille, dominated by white stripes and the new Dacia logo. This is also the cap for the charging port, and that is basically about it. Now, since the Dacia Spring was launched, Dacia did implement a couple of upgrades for it, and now you can configure it, as you can see, with orange accents all around. We have orange mirror caps, we have orange details over here in the front bumper right under the lights, and yeah, this, by the way, this is just the daytime running light element on the front end of the car. Not a lot to say about it. It's a 3.7 meter long car. It's very small, very compact, and you feel it the moment you step inside. It's only just over 1.5 meters tall, and yeah, what can I say? We have 14-inch wheels on it, the new Dacia logo on the wheels as well. All these accents, as I told you, this is a fully spec'd car, and yeah, as I said, not a lot to talk about. This is the new Dacia branding on the boot cover over here, and this is the boot. 300 liters of space, not a lot, but you wouldn't expect it to offer a lot of room anyway. So let's talk about the specs for a bit. We have a 27 kilowatt hour battery hidden in the floor, out of which you can actually use about 25 kilowatts, and an electric motor up front, good for 45 horsepower and 125 newton meters of torque. And of course, this is a front wheel drive car, nothing out of the ordinary in this regard. So this is how the rear passenger segment looks like. I would get in, but I'm afraid I don't have enough room. Everything is down to the bare minimum. So we have plastic door cards, plastic trims all around, and everything like that. We don't have leather. We have full seat backs. They look cool, but they're not exactly comfortable. I'm going to talk about all of that in my full review of the car. The same story goes up front. So we have plastic door cards, and the plastic, of course, isn't of the best quality you could imagine. We have some storage space over here and two front seats. Everything has been stripped down. Let's take a look inside. So we have the new Dacia steering wheel. We have infotainment screen of about 7 inches, black piano trims over here. This is the HVAC control panel, so some storage space, the buttons for the speed limiter, traction control, and parking sensors as well. There's a lot of dark plastic all around and not a lot to talk about. This is actually the, we should call it gear shift lever. Yeah, we don't have a park button. You just stop in neutral, raise the manual handbrake, and you are done. Now, okay, let's see the key too. Oops, this is the key with the new logo. And yes, you have to turn it to start the car. Let's do that right now. This is the instrument cluster, as you can tell. So yeah, it's telling me to put my foot on the brake. And we have a sort of onboard computer over here. We did 25 points, no, so we did 26.4 kilometers so far, and we still have 88% of the battery left at an average energy consumption of 12.3 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers covered. As per usual, we will do this test without cutting on any creature comfort. So we're gonna test this car to see just what kind of energy consumption figures you can get and what you can expect. The outside temperature is pretty warm, 10 degrees Celsius. We are running on winter tires, and right now we're gonna hop on a series of B-roads and see how this car does in that kind of scenario, and then we're gonna test it around town to see what to expect. So we're gonna do a loop, and I'm gonna update you once we are done outside the city. Let's go. Okay, so we just finished the B-road section of our real life range test. So let's take a look at the results. So as you can see, the average energy consumption after covering 66.4 kilometers, the average energy consumption is 13.3 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers covered, with an average speed of 65.6 kilometers per hour. So not exactly bad numbers. I did expect them to be low. So the Spring actually did pretty well considering its performance. However, with 45 horsepower and just about a ton in terms of weight, I did expect these numbers. At the same time, the battery only has a 25 kilowatt hour usable capacity, so doing the math, you probably get like 190 kilometers of range outside the city at such a high average speed. Well, it is what it is. Now we're gonna do the same thing around town. We're gonna do 100 kilometers around town to see what kind of numbers we get, and then we're gonna do an update at the end. As I said, I won't venture on the highway with this car. It just doesn't make sense since it's limited to 125 kilometers an hour, and probably the range won't be anywhere near decent at that kind of speed. So stay tuned. We're gonna do an update once we're done around town. Okay guys, so we just finished the inner city range test with the Dacia Spring. Let's take a look at the numbers. So as you can see, the average energy consumption was 14.4 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers covered, with an average speed of 36.4 kilometers an hour and a total covered distance of 109 kilometers. Considering the car has a usable battery capacity of 25 kilowatt hours, well, that gives us a range of about 173 kilometers around town. So yeah, it is what it is. The thing is, it's pretty cold out, so right now it's 6 degrees outside, and it didn't get a lot warmer while I was testing the car. And this is a especially sensitive car to external temperatures, because it doesn't really have a cooling system or a heating system for the batteries, so it will be susceptible to that. And it doesn't have a heat pump, so it uses a thermal resistance system to heat up the cabin. So yeah, that's gonna take a toll. These are like cold weather scenario results, but I'm guessing during summertime you could go over 200 kilometers easily with the Dacia Spring. It's a cheap micro car for city use, so don't expect huge numbers from it because the price tag is pretty low too. So that said, this has been my real life range test with the Dacia Spring. I hope you enjoyed it. As I said, I'm not gonna take it on the highway. It's not made for the highway, so it is what it is. Until next time, don't forget to like, share, and of course subscribe, and stay tuned for the full review of this car. Ciao.